Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NBA Coverage. Before we get started, this podcast brought to you by Final Form Subs. Here we have monohydrate creatine. Did I say that right? Yes, monohydrate creatine, 100% pure. Guys, Final Form Supplements, supplement brand for everybody. Whether you're couch potato, hardcore, gym rat, we got everything for you. We got merch. Go to finalformsubs.com. That's SUPPS. Finalformsubs.com. Use promo code CoachStrib, all caps, no space. Get 10% off your supplements and your personal care. All right. Before we get started, Coach Calvin can't be with us right now. We're figuring out our scheduling because our schedules have kind of changed. But I'm going to go ahead and drop this one because we missed out on last week, and I don't want to go 2 weeks in a row and miss. And today marks the end of the regular season, so we have the playoff and the play-in tournament picture kind of set up for us. So if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. For those of you that are new, we're going to go over the standings right now and then also some NBA news and highlights. But most of the news and highlights are going to be the playoff picture and what we're going to be looking forward to as the NBA playoffs get ready to kick off. All right, so starting off, we're going to go in the standings, starting with the East. And now these standings are final because today was the last day of the regular season. So East, we have the Boston Celtics. No surprise there. They've been pretty much the front runner for the East the entire season. Boston sitting at 1. Knicks will be 2. Milwaukee Bucks will be 3. Cavs will be 4. The Magic will be 5. Pacers will be 6. For the play-in tournament in the East, we have the 76ers at 7, Miami at 8, Chicago at 9, and the Hawks are at 10. And then just to round out, just to let you know how the other teams finished that were eliminated. For the East, Nets were 11, Raptors finished 12, Hornets finished 13th, Wizards finished 14th, and the Pistons finished 15th. Now, for the Western Conference Finals, before today, we had the OKC, Denver, and the Minnesota Timberwolves all had the same record going into this last day. It's the first time in NBA history 3 teams had the same exact record. So a lot of playoff implications there. So OKC and the Denver Nuggets end up with the same record, but I believe OKC, due to tiebreakers for in-season play, they're going to be number 1. Nuggets will be number 2. Timberwolves will be number 3. Timberwolves ended up becoming a game behind those two with they loss. So Timberwolves are number 3. Clippers are at 4. Dallas are at 5. Suns are at 6. For the play-in tournament for the West, Pelicans are at 7. Lakers at 8. Kings at 9. Warriors at 10. And then the teams that got eliminated, but I'll just tell you how they finished out. Rockets have finished 11th. Jazz 12. The Grizzlies 13th. Spurs 14th. And the Trailblazers finished 15th. Now, we're going to go over some statistical leaders for the end of the season. Luka Doncic, 33.9 is going to be our points per game leader. Rebounds is going to be Sabonis with 13.7. Assists, Tyrese Halliburton at 10.9. Steals per game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 2.0. DeAndre Fox also is at 2.0. So I'm not sure how the tiebreaker is settled for that. But DeAndre Fox and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander both had 2 steals per game. But reading the leaders now, they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the number 1. And blocks per game, Victor Wembanyama at 3.6. Now, playoff picture. As it sits right now, the Eastern play-in tournament, the 76ers will play the Miami Heat, and the Bulls will play Atlanta Hawks. And then the winner of the Bulls and Hawks will play the loser of the 76ers and the Miami Heat. For the West, the play-ins, Pelicans, Lakers, and then the Kings, Warriors. The winner of the Kings and Warriors will play the loser of the Pelicans and Lakers. So Pelicans and Lakers, as well as 76ers and Heat, they have 2 chances to get that 8th spot since they were higher seeds out of the 4 between 7 and 10. The Boston Celtics have the number 1 seed. Knicks have number 2 seed. So first round for the East will be the Bucks versus the Pacers, and the Cavs versus the Magic. And in the West, the first round, it's going to be the Timberwolves versus the Suns and the Clippers versus Dallas. So a lot of exciting matchups there. I'm actually curious. For me, I want to see how the Cavs end up performing. Now that they have now that they kind of somewhat have their full team back in play, I'm interested to see how the Cavs play out. And as well as for the West, my dark horse team for the West is the Clippers. I'm curious to see how the Clippers fare, especially against Magic with Luka Doncic and Kyrie playing like they're playing kind of towards the back end of the season. They've been playing phenomenal together. So I'm curious to see if Dallas can make some moves. But my dark horse team is the Clippers, considering the fact that they have the number 4 seed and their big, I guess their big 3 have been kind of in and out. Harden, Kawhi, Paul George, they've kind of been in and out here and there, and they've got the 4th seed. So I'm curious to see if they can get some rest, get all their guys back, and if all 3 of them, plus Westbrook coming off the bench, how well they'll play together once all of them are playing. And so as far, we don't have too much news and highlights besides just the NBA lineup like that. The Warriors are in an interesting spot because they're the 10th seed, but this isn't the first time that they've been a low seed. Granted, when they won a couple years ago, I think they were like the 6th seed or something like that. But we all know Steph Curry, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, who else? There's certain players that you can't count them out until the scoreboard hits 0. As well, another team that I'm looking at is actually going to be the Suns. They're sitting at the 6th seed. Suns, you got Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and you have Devin Booker. Again, that's another team where they're your big 3 have been kind of in and out here and there. They haven't really played too many games together. So with some rest and they get their guys healed up, I am actually interested to see how they fare going into the playoffs. The Knicks was a team I was looking at, but Julius Randle is officially out for the rest of the season due to that shoulder injury. He ended up getting shoulder surgery, so he is out. But the Knicks are still sitting at a pretty good spot at the number 2. They sit at the number 2 seed, which, yeah, Knicks end up sliding up to the number 2. So they, without Julius Randle, you got Jalen Brunson, and you got guys like that are just playing phenomenal to kind of galvanize their team, and they went from like the 4th or 5th seed all the way up to now they've surpassed the Bucks, and they're sitting at the 2 seed. So they've been making moves, they're playing well. Can they keep that momentum going into the playoffs? That's a lot of questions we have there. But as far as that, and I'm also interested in 76ers. I believe Joel Embiid left the game early due to a knee injury. So we'll kind of see how that turns out. I'm not sure how long they said he's going to be out, or if he's back already. I don't have those details, but we all know 76ers, their key piece is Joel Embiid, and if he's not available for them, I could see them getting bounced in the first round. So some of those other guys are going to have to step up, and Tyrese Maxey, as well as James Harden. I believe, yes, I think I might have misspoke earlier with James Harden on a different team. But anyway, James Harden. James Harden is with the Clippers. So yeah, not James Harden. Sorry, I'm getting my seasons mixed up. But Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and then people that are playing well. The Denver Nuggets. Jokic is actually a top contender for MVP as well this year, as well as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I should actually, let me look up the MVP race, because I do want to talk about that as we get into some potential awards like Defensive Player of the Year and things like that. I normally have notes. I don't have notes because life has been busy, but I did not want to go 2 weeks in a row without dropping an episode. But let's look in the NBA MVP race. So MVP leaders, we have, let's see if I can just get a list. And of course, as soon as you get onto a website, it's nothing but ads. It's fantastic. Okay, so number 1, Nikola Jokic is right now. Last week, he was ranked at number 1. Again, I truly think that if OKC has the number 1 spot, even though Jokic, don't get me wrong, Jokic is a phenomenal player. He's definitely worthy of a candidate. If it was me voting, if it was my decision, I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's on a better team. He's on the younger team, better team. I think he's more important to his team than Jokic is to Denver. You take Jokic off of Denver, they're still a solid team. I think if you take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off the OKC, I still think they're a playoff team, but I can see them as like a 5 or 6 seed, maybe not the 1 seed. Last week he was ranked at number 3. He's moved up to number 2. So Jokic is averaging 26.6 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, 9 assists per game. So he's just shy of averaging a triple-double 2 seasons in a row. He averaged it last year. This year he was 1 assist per game shy of having a triple-double. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 30.4 points per game, 5.6 assists, and 6.2 assists per game. And, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not slowly, but he's actually very rapidly becoming one of my favorite players in the league right now, especially one of the young guys that could be one of the top faces of the NBA if he's not already moving forward. And I just love how his change of pace is just phenomenal. He basically, the game goes at whatever pace that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wants it. He can get to his spots. His first step is super quick, and then when you try to recover, he's really a change of direction and slowing down to get you off balance. His game is, I just love watching him play. His game is pure, and it seems like it's a well-rounded game. Sitting at number 3, we actually have Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks. He's dropped from 2 to 3. He was 2 last week. Now he's 3. He's averaging 33.9 points per game. He's going to be the scoring champ for this season. 9.2 rebounds, 9.8 assists. So he's actually 1 assist per game and 1 rebound per game away from averaging a triple-double. Luka Doncic is just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm very, very curious and interested to see how Mavs play come playoff with Kyrie Irving right there with him, as well as some other players. Giannis Antetokounmpo is sitting at number 4. He was number 4 last year, hadn't changed, but averaging 30.4 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists. So Giannis, we know about scoring and he rebounding, but he's actually stepped up and he's assisting the ball a little bit more than he has at almost 7 assists per game. Now with Giannis, he had a calf strain a few games ago. I'm not 100% sure if he is back in the rotation, but he definitely will probably be back for the first round of the playoffs, because they will have some time with the play-in tournament going on. He'll have time to rest. And sitting at number 5, we have Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics. Obviously, you're talking about the best player on the best team. It makes sense that he's in the MVP race, averaging 26.9 points per game, 8.1 rebounds per game, 4.9 assists per game. The next 5 is going to be Sabonis, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. What's interesting to me is Anthony Edwards not being in the top 5. Again, it is tough with the resume of the guys that are in the top 5, but Anthony Edwards being 3rd in the West, they've been up in the top 3 consistently all season, and it's really been Anthony Edwards kind of bringing his team and doing what needs to be done to win the game. You still have Karl-Anthony Towns, you still have Rudy Gobert, you have, I believe, Mike Conley. I think that's the guard I'm thinking about that is with the Timberwolves. But you also have other players that play, but Anthony Edwards has really been kind of the focal point for that offense for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But that is why he is on the next list, like the second man out from the top 5 of the MVP race. So I'm excited. Once this playoffs get started, we're gonna have some good coverage, some good notes for you guys going in when you get Coach Calvin back on the pod. Let me know what you guys think, or who's your dark horse team, who you think is going to make it. Right now, the odds are going to be, I think right now the odds are Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. Even though OKC has that number 1 spot, I do believe the highest odds are the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets for the finals. So that's actually all we really have in these pods moving forward. Probably going to be pretty short with the playoffs, because there won't be much news and highlights. It'll just be kind of what's transpired for the playoffs. But I'm always excited for the NBA playoffs, and I'm excited to see at least some good ball, some good things going on, and just some outstanding play. You guys know I'm a huge LeBron James fan, so I do hope that the Lakers make a good run. But I really want to see everybody play well. I want to see everybody succeed, but that's not how it goes. One team has to be crowned at the end. But again, we've seen this with the Lakers before. Last year, play-in, waited through the plan all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So we'll see how things play out here as the season gets started. But that's going to be all from here at the NBA coverage, and we'll catch you guys next time.
I'm gonna chase my dreams. My life has me